Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Mauricio Pochettinho or Erik ten Hag? Who should Manchester United appoint? Pochettinho and Erik ten Hag are the leading candidates for the Man United job. Pochettinho is Manchester United's #1 choice to become the next permanent manager. Pochettinho has told his friends he will be leaving PSG in the summer. Pochettinho's job hinges on PSG getting to the next round of the Champions League. PSG play Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League. Reports in France said Pochettinho could be sacked by March. Not so long ago, PSG got knocked out of the French Cup by Nice on penalties. Pochettinho's contract at PSG expires next year. He's been PSG manager for over a year now. I think he has won a French Cup with them. PSG are looking at Zidane as a replacement for Pochettinho. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said PSG agreed personal terms with Zidane. Pochettinho is a good manager, even though he's hardly won anything, and he's well proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial. Before, Pochettinho enjoyed a 5.5-year managerial tenure at Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his managerial tenure at Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. But revert back to 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And at one point he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. I reckon Tottenham made a mistake sacking him. Before Tottenham he managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure at Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So yeah, they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far. And before Southampton he managed Espanyol. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have recommended Pochettinho in them, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. And Erik ten Hag, a few weeks ago, Ralph Rangnick said he wants Erik ten Hag to become Man United's next permanent manager in the summer. I presume there's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag become the club's next manager. Like I mentioned yesterday, he said Man United fans want Erik ten Hag to take the Old Trafford job instead of Pochettinho. You've got to admire the work ten Hag has done at Ajax. He's developed the young players well. He's won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. He hasn't managed in the Premier League yet, but I think if he came to manage in the Premier League, he'd replicate what he's done at Ajax. He's been Ajax manager for over 4 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract expires next year. Ajax is the 4th club he's managing in his managerial career, because before Ajax he managed Utrecht, before then he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. Brendan Rodgers has been linked with a managerial role at Man United before, but obviously there's a lot of United fans that have got strong reservations about Brendan Rodgers becoming the club's next permanent manager. And Zidane before has been linked with a managerial role at Man United. Man United looking for the 5th permanent manager, because Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Then Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. The 3 trophies he won was the Europa League, the EFL Cup and the Community Shield. But the reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, because the board didn't recommend the players he wanted to get in, and he had bad disputes with the top players. And last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. Manchester United paid Solskjaer around 7.5 million to sack him, because revert back to last summer, he signed a contract until 2024. There was an option of a further year. Don't forget, when Solskjaer officially got sacked, he gave a farewell interview, and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which of course was understandable because Solskjaer adores the club and he was part of the club for a long time. He has been back a few times though, recently, even though he's no longer Man United manager. Well, it said on the statement when he officially got sacked he's welcome back at any time, because it also said that Solskjaer's a legend of the club and he always will be a legend of the club. Solskjaer's final game in charge of Man United was the 4-1 defeat to Watford. Ralph Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager. Rangnick's been Manchester United's interim manager for almost 2 months. So far, he's managed 10 games in all competitions. He's lost just 1 game at the moment, and so far he's had 5 wins from 8 league games. And he has progressed Manchester United to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Now, revert back to the other week, it said Manchester United were considering offering Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. And reflecting on that, it said Man United had put their search for a new manager on hold after being impressed by Ralph Rangnick since he took charge in December. So yeah, he is our interim manager till the end of the season. Then Rangnick is expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. There's been good performances under Rangnick. There's also been poor performances as well. Rangnick was not backed in the January transfer window. That's disappointing. Revert back to earlier on this season. It said, Rangnick was under pressure, and there was reports circulating out saying that Rangnick was losing the dressing room, and it said, 17 Manchester United players were unhappy and wanted to leave. Credit to Rangnick though, he has made changes since he's come in. He brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also brought Chris Armas in as an assistant coach, and he brought Sascha Lenz in as a sports psychologist. And don't forget, Man United changed formation under Rangnick. The new formation we've got is the 4-3-3 formation. And before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. He said after the 1-0 win against West Ham before the international break that Rangnick will apparently receive a £500,000 bonus if he leads Man United to a top 4 finish. Rangnick earns £180,000 a week. Well, reflecting on the win against West Ham before the break that moved Manchester United into the top 4. I'm hoping Man United can win a trophy this season. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Man United have not won the Premier League since 2013. That's 9 years ago now. But like I say, Man United endured a disappointing January transfer window because Man United didn't make any signings, and Man United wanted to sign a midfielder because when Rangnick first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. There's a lot of players Man United went in for last month. We went in for Amadou Aidara from Leipzig. Apparently, he said a fee was agreed. And Rangnick said last month that he wanted Amadou Aidara as his first signing as Man United manager. Rangnick knows the player well, of course. Last month as well, Man United tried to get Boubacar Kamara from Marseille. It did actually say that Man United were leading the race for Boubacar Kamara. It said Marseille wanted just £10 million. Towards the end of the window, we tried to get Ruben Neves. Man United were hoping a bid of around 35 million was going to be enough for Ruben Neves. But Wolves said they wanted from between 40 to 45 million if they were to consider offloading Ruben Neves. Man United also went in for Dennis Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. On deadline day, Man United went in for Bissouma from Brighton. So, yeah, there you go. And as you all know, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham have been long-term targets for Man United. Man United are eyeing a move for Declan Rice in the summer. Like I updated you not so long ago, it said West Ham are braced for Declan Rice bids. Premier League's top clubs are in for him, City, Chelsea and Man United all want him in the summer. West Ham value Rice at 100 million. Rice has already rejected 2 contract offers at West Ham. Lingard and Dean Henderson should have left Manchester United in the January transfer window, but we blocked their exits. Lingard and Henderson are part of the deadwood because they don't get in the team. Towards the end of the window, we had the incident with Mason Greenwood. We did loan quite a few players out in the January transfer window. Obviously, we loaned Donny van de Beek out to Everton. We loaned Martial out to Sevilla. We loaned Amad Diallo out to Rangers not so long ago. Amad Diallo scored on his Rangers debut. We loaned Tiedemann Mengi out to Birmingham. Tuan Zebe went out on loan to Napoli, and we also loaned Ethan Laird out. So yeah, Rangnick's endured one transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. In the summer, I'm expecting Man United to make some signings. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So in the summer, Edison Cavani will leave. Revert back to earlier on this season, Ralph Rangnick said that Edison Cavani wants to stay at Manchester United until the end of the season. Cavani's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. River Plate are considering a transfer for Edison Cavani in the summer to replace Julian Alvarez, because Alvarez is going to City in the summer officially. He's going back out on loan to River Plate until the end of the season. Last year, don't forget, Barcelona tried to get Cavani. Well, it actually said Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Last year was linked to Juventus, and last year Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Juan Mata, he'll also leave the club in the summer. His contract at Man United expires in the summer. Mata lost his place in the team a while ago, and he's lost that yard of pace in his aging up. But despite all of that, Mata's had a good career at Manchester United. He's made 276 appearances in all competitions, and he's scored 51 goals. He's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. Brought him in under the David Moyes era. Revert back to 2020, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Jesse Lingard, he'll also depart the club in the summer. Like I mentioned not so long ago, he should have left in January. Newcastle and West Ham tried to get him on loan last month. Don't forget, Newcastle were in talks, and Newcastle were prepared to pay a loan fee of 3 million plus a further 4 million of a survival bonus. And Lingard was keen on a loan move to Newcastle. West Ham, that's where Lingard was on loan at the second half of last season, and he made an impact. West Ham have been trying to re-sign him now for a while. And I think last month as well, Lingard rejected an approach from Everton. Lingard's out of contract at Man United in the summer. He has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy and that, but like I mentioned, doesn't get in our team. Donny van de Beek, if he does well at Everton, I can see, Everton getting him on a permanent basis. Obviously, the loan deal doesn't include a buy option, as obviously Man United want Van de Beek back for next season. Matic, he'll also leave the club in the summer. Matic is out of contract at Manchester United in the summer. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder. Plus, he's ageing up and that. But despite that, he's had his good games at Man United. He's not one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, still gets his chances. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got at the moment. Man United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017. Got him for £40 million. If Rangnick isn't at Man United at the end of the season, Paul Pogba will leave Man United in the summer. But don't forget, it said not so long ago that Paul Pogba is willing to stay at Man United as long as Ralph Rangnick is manager next season. Obviously, he's been impressed by Ralph Rangnick since his arrival, and if obviously Rangnick is to get the job on a permanent basis, Pogba would be open to signing a new contract. Pogba's contract at Manchester United expires in the summer. Revert back to the other month, the Sun said that Manchester United offered Paul Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract. That would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history, but Pogba actually came out and denied that he'd been offered that contract. The good news is, from Man United perspective, Pogba is now back. He's expected to play tomorrow against Middlesbrough in the Cup. He returned to training not so long ago. Don't forget, Pogba was out with injury for a while. Pogba's injury prone because he's had quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club. Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and this season's his 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Jones will also leave in the summer as well. I'm disappointed that he didn't leave in January. Revert back towards the end of last month. Jones was linked to a Bordeaux. But Romano actually came out and said that Phil Jones rejected a loan move to Bordeaux. But Man United and Bordeaux had actually reached an agreement for Phil Jones to go on loan in order to get more playing time. And reports from France said that Phil Jones' talks were at final stages, but Rangnick said he was happy for Phil Jones to stay. Jones is only the outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. This season is his 11th season at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. His contract at Manchester United expires next year. The last game he played was the 1-0 defeat to Wolves at Old Trafford. He was our best performer in that game. It was his first Premier League appearance since January 2020. And Erik, he'll also depart the club in the summer as well, because he doesn't really get in the team. Henderson will go in the summer, because like I said, Henderson doesn't really get in goal, because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. And if Man United fail to qualify for the Champions League, it's already said that Ronaldo will leave Man United in the summer. And a few weeks ago, reports from Spain said that Man United will look to sell Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer. We need to sell that duo because they're not good enough to represent the club. Not so long ago, though, it said Man United could lose up to 15 players to free contracts in the next 18 months. So there you go. As you all know, Ed Woodward recently stepped down at Man United. That was good news from a Man United perspective, because Woodward was one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. Ed Woodward was Manchester United's chief executive for around 17 years. Recently, Richard Arnold replaced Ed Woodward as the new chief executive. The Glazers are still at Man United. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16.5 years now. The Glazers bought Manchester United for $500 million back in 2005. They've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. So, there you go. So now guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.